In the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to subsume among the powers of the earth the separate and the equal stations to which the laws of nature and the nature's God entitle them. With decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation.
We hold those truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure those rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their powers just from the consent of the governed.
Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness.
Prudence, indeed, will dictate the government long established should not be changed for light and transit causes. And accordingly all experience hath shewn that mankind are more disposed and suffer. With evils are sufferable, then the rights themselves are by abolished to the form of which they are accustomed.
But when a long train of abuses and aspirations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty, to throw off such government and provide new guards for their future security.
Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which trains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of present King the Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and aspirations, all having indirect object to the establishment of absolute tyranny over these states.
And when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend to them. He has refused to pass other laws for the people accommodation of large districts of people.
He has called together legislative bodies at place individual, uncomfortable, and distant from the dispensatory of the public records.
He has endeavored to protect the population of these states for that purpose, obstructing the laws for naturalization of foreigners, refusing to pass others to encourage their migrations hither, and raising the conditions of the new appropriations of lands. He has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent to laws for establishing judicial powers.
He has made judges dependent on his will alone for the tenure of their offices and the amount and payment of their salaries.
Quartering large bodies of armed troops among us for protecting them by a mock trial from punishment for any murders which they should commit on the inhabitants of these states.
For cutting off trade with all parts of the world, for imposing taxes on us without our consent, for depriving us in many cases of the benefit of trial by jury, for transporting us by seas to be tried for pretended offenses,
for taking away the charters, establishing our most valuable laws after afflicting fundamentally the forms of our government.
He has plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burnt our towns, and destroyed the lives of our people. He has constrained our fellow citizens, taken captive on the high seas, to bear arms against their country, to become the
executioners of their friends and burthen to fall themselves by their hands.
We have reminded them of the circumstances of our emergence and settlement here. We have appealed to their native justice and magnanimity. We have conjured them by the ties of our common kindred to disavow the disruptions which would inevitably interrupt our connections and correspondence.
Were the representatives of the United States of America and General Congress assembled appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for rectitude of our intentions in the name and authority of good people in these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are and of right ought to be free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved.
As free and independent states, they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of the divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.